lesson. You're watching the second lesson in fractions. In this section, we'll be talking about how to multiply fractions by whole numbers. Now, in the previous lessons, we've talked about what fractions are, how to find simplified fractions, how to find equivalent fractions, how to mix fractions, how to add and subtract fractions. So now we're going into the meat of this unit, which is multiplying and dividing fractions. So we're going to start off a bit easy. When multiplying fractions with whole numbers, you only multiply the top number. You only have to do that. That's it. Right? So if I had 3 times 5 over 6, well, you just multiply the top, right? You just multiply the top. 3 times 5 over 6, you only multiply the top. So this top times this. 3 times 5 is 15, so it's 15 over 6, right? And what I ended up doing was simplifying the fraction because, remember, I want you to simplify your answer. So 15 over 6 you can simplify into 15 over 2, which you can then simplify into 2 over 1 over 2, right? Now, this is combining, simplifying and equivalent fractions. This is combining mixed numbers. So you need to know how to do this. The way I did this was, well, I have 15 over 6. What number can I divide 15 by and 6 by? Well, I can divide 15 by 3, right? And I can divide 6 by 3. You have to divide by the same number, otherwise you're just doing something else. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So now we have this fraction, and it's equivalent. However, the top is too big because the top needs to be smaller than the bottom. So then I make it into a mixed number. The way I do this is by taking the 2 and going, okay, how many 2's fit into 5? Well, 2 2's. Well, that's what I put. 2 2's fit into 5. How much is left? 1. So it's 2, 1 over 2. When you multiply a fraction by a whole number, you are copying the fraction to the whole number, right? Like when you multiply 3 times 2, you're doing this. You're going 3 times 2. Oh, 3 2 times, so that's 3 plus 3, right? If I did 5 times 3, right, that's the same as saying 5 3 times. So 5, 5, 5, and you're adding in this case, right? So 3 times 5 over 6, well, we have 3 5 over 6's right here. And you remember, if your denominators are the same, you don't touch them, right? You don't touch your denominators if they're the same. And you just add the tops, which would make that 15, and then you work through your simplification steps. Right? So when you are working with fractions, you should remember that you need to simplify or make the fraction a mixed number if necessary, right? 5 over 8 times 6, well, multiply the top by 6, that's 30 over 8, too big. So I'm going to make this 3 because 8 fits into 30 3 times, so whatever's left is the new numerator, right? So that's 24, so 3/8, and then take away 24, which would make that 6. Now I have 6 over 8. Now I simplify. I can divide this by 2. I can divide this by 2, right? So that would make it 3 over 4. And so this is the correct answer. Common mistake students will make is they will stop at these parts and not move further to the final answer. So try and solve these on your own. These shouldn't be too difficult. Remember, you're just multiplying the top and then simplifying. Then try this word problem. And then after that, after you feel you're starting to get comfortable with multiplying fractions, you can work through, these questions on your own. This is a relatively short lesson because it was a simple concept that we're going to start building on as we move along in this unit. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next lesson.